In this video, I'm going to show you the one thing that most people overlook when they try to change their reality. If you've been putting a lot of effort, a lot of energy in, no matter how hard you try, you end up exactly where you started. Or maybe you conceptually understand this, no matter what you do, you feel stuck in actually seeing and experiencing the changes you really want to have. This video is for you. I'm going to be visually showing you, like I love to do with these boxes, so you can better understand what is happening and where to put your energy to actually create the changes you want and shift into the reality that you prefer. So let's get started. So here we are with the boxes of reality. And this is going to be very simple because I want to make sure we're on the same page of what it takes to change your reality. So these two boxes are literally two different realities. Now you see the plate and the mug. All these are doing is showing a visual representation of a different energetic frequency. Dr. Joe Dispenza would call this a different electromagnetic signature or different state of being. So this plate represents one specific set of thoughts, feelings, and actions, and that literally is the key to being in this reality. Now this mug is going to represent a different electromagnetic signature, a different set of thoughts, feelings, and actions. And you can see easily it fits into the desired reality. And if you try to take this state of being, this thought, feeling, and action energetic, it actually doesn't align. It will not resonate, and therefore this state of being cannot experience this reality. Not because it's not good enough, not because it's worse than this one, but simply because they're different, and each one aligns with their specific and relevant reality. What I did in my past, and this might resonate with you, but I was experiencing this reality, and I continued to think of the experiences I wanted in this other reality. For me, it was a relationship, but I continued to feel about myself the exact same way. I continued to have these same exact beliefs about myself. And I'm going to get into this a little bit later in the video. But I fought and I fought and I tried and I struggled and I felt like I was making a little bit progress, and then I would get closer to this experience, and no matter what, I'd end up right back in here over and over and over again. And the thing about it was I kept trying to be the same me and experience a new reality. And this is where Dr. Joe Dispenza says, you cannot stay in the same personality, which is energetically represented by this plate. You cannot stay in this energetic frequency and experience a new personal reality, meaning that you're gonna need to shift your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions in the world to another energy that actually aligns with the reality. The whole thing about experiencing a new reality is going to be about shifting your state of being. It sounds really simple, but as you start to do that, it's going to be heavily related and heavily anchored to beliefs. Now, beliefs are formed after experiences. So the experiences, primarily the ones you had from birth to 7 years old, those have formed unconsciously, most likely, a way you see yourself, a way you see the world, beliefs about how you're supposed to be treated, what you're worthy of, what you're not worthy of. That is all contained in this electromagnetic signature. Neville Goddard would call this your self-concept. Now realize that your beliefs, they're not objectively true. That means that they are personalized to you, that they are not facts of the universe. You've had an experience, and based on that experience, you put a meaning or a label as to why that experience happened, and that has formed a belief. Now, that belief is sending out those energetic signatures, even if you're unconscious to it. For me personally, I thought I'm not good enough. Everyone's gonna leave me unless I work really, really hard. Unless I become a vital part of their life, then they can't leave me. This led me to finding a lot of people in my past who I saw as they needed help, or I could serve some sort of function in their life to make it better. This led me to self-abandon. And so what did I send out? I sent out, I'm not good enough, and I'm emotionally abandoning myself. And what did I find in my reality? I found people who were echoing that back to me, because that's how I believed I was. I believed that's all I was worthy of. So the critical part of this whole thing and to shift your reality is simply to shift your state of being. Perfectly simple idea. Now, where people get stuck, and myself included, was that no matter how hard I tried to change my state of being and change my beliefs, they continue to come right back. Why? Because at the time, I did not have my own inner authority. So you could be wondering, what is inner authority? And it literally is you being the authority of your life, meaning that your viewpoint, your opinion, and your ultimate perspective is the most important. You don't have to rely on other people, check in with them. What do they think? What is their opinion? What is their expectation? When you start to have to check in with other people in order to be able to live your life, your inner authority is outside of you. This isn't to say live your life with no regard for other people, but in specific regards to changing your beliefs, how you see yourself. Are you reliant on other people telling you something, getting their validation, getting their approval or their opinion in order for you to basically change something in your life? If that's the case, you don't have your inner authority. Having your inner authority is critical in order to shift your state of being. So the critical part of being able to take yourself from one state of being to another state of being is being able to change your set point or your psycho-cybernetic mechanism, the homeostasis of your identity, of your self-image. If it's about money, you might start making a lot of money and then something happens and you spend it all, or some bills come up and then you go right back to where you usually are. And then maybe some stuff kicks in and you start struggling and it's worse than usual, and then you kick back in and it goes right back. It is echoing or reflecting how you see yourself. So that's what literally you're going to see the world through. So in order to be able to break out of that set point, which is what you're going to need to do to go from this state of being to this state of being and shift your reality, you will need to change your self-concept. You'll need to change your belief system, or another way you could say it is you'll need to change your self-image. Unless you hold the authority of your self-image, it will stay exactly where it is. And no matter how hard you fight and try, it'll always go right back to the set point. And let me show you now how to take back your inner authority so that you can make the shift from one state of being to your ideal state of being. What helped me understand this was understanding how it actually was formed. So when you're a kid, you can't actually take care of yourself. Your literal survival is dependent on some sort of caregiver, some sort of an adult who you believe knows better than you. You cannot do it yourself, and so they know best. Now, even if they're emotionally incompetent, emotionally immature, or don't have the emotional space to meet your needs, they can keep you alive. So they have that authority. They know better. They've been on the earth longer. They know how different things work. So boom, your only chance of survival is that this authority can keep you alive. Now this could look a lot of different ways. Now maybe you grew up in a home that looked like it was totally peaceful and everything was good, but your caretakers were physically there, but emotionally it was unpredictable. Sometimes they'd be there, sometimes they wouldn't. Sometimes they give you attention, but all they did when they gave you attention was to criticize you. So in that experience from when you were a kid, realize too, you don't have reasoning skills. You haven't developed them yet. But a situation happens from birth to 7 years old. You take a meaning about yourself, because realize this person it's a hierarchy. They know better than you. So if there's a deficiency, you're going to say, okay, what did I do? How can I continue to belong and fit in so I can stay alive? So if this person ridiculed you and criticized you, you're like, oh man, when I put myself out there, I get criticized. So they're emotionally there, they're emotionally not there. So you could have thought that you need to hyperfixate. What am I doing that's good? What am I doing that's bad? How can you maintain this connection? Because this was survival. So it could be that when you did what you wanted to do, maybe you thought, oh, that's upsetting to them. When I do what I want, it's too much for the other person. Now realize, you didn't realize this was only about this one specific event. It then becomes a generalized, when I am me, it's too much for people. Or maybe that emotional inconsistency led you to believe that people leave me, that if I am not giving to them, everyone's going to leave me. So basically you start to suppress or repress or maybe judge parts of yourself, not having the ability to reason. But what this becomes right here, this becomes the lens you look through reality, because you do not see the world as it is. You don't see all the realities, because earlier when I had those two boxes on the table, Both exist. All the realities exist right now. But your mind is a giant filter. And these early on interactions are what forms your mind, which is a function of your brain. So your perceptions, your ability to actually perceive. Your subconscious has between 20 to 50 million bits of information coming through it. It's going to filter out everything other than what's in here, because being this way is what kept you alive. And we are a survival being, meaning that we are looking out to say, okay, are we safe? Are we okay? If we break this agreement, if we break this dynamic, we might die. So we need to learn to fit in so we have a sense of belonging. So you start to see yourself in certain ways without this ability to reason, and this person has the authority. So this could look in your life right now as you keep checking in with people. You keep waiting for them to confirm or validate. Maybe you're people pleasing. If you can get them to connect with you, then you feel worthy. But that sense of control, that sense of power is outside of you. The only way to get that back is to take back your authority. And that looks like looking at, through your adult eyes now, looking at the situation, seeing yourself as a child in this dynamic, not reliving it, but seeing, wow, okay, yeah, I can see that I thought it was too much, but I wasn't wrong in that situation. My parent was actually had a very low emotional capacity. They got overloaded, not because I was too much, but because they didn't have tools. They didn't do their own internal work that they needed to. So maybe they took some of that out on me, and that's not okay. This person's not a bad person. I'm not here to blame them for everything, but the more you can see this person as a human being, that they did the best they could, but they did not have some all-knowing being perfect view of you. And if you can start to see that, you can start to dissolve this, that they didn't have the emotional space. Maybe they had a lot of issues and they took it out on you. But whatever it wasn't because you lacked anything. It wasn't because of what you did. The more you do that, the more you can pull this back and take back your authority, no longer having it with them, but see it for yourself. And again, this comes from looking at early on situations with your adult eyes, seeing yourself as a child. And as you start to do that, you can actually start to dissolve the ideas and beliefs you hold in here. And as you start to have your own sense of agency or authority, that I'm actually whole and complete, that I am and always have been worthy. Because you see the truth of yourself in this experience. You use the development that you've had since you were a kid to see the situations that formed your self-image differently, taking back your authority and updating your beliefs, which will give you new feelings, new thoughts, and lead you to act in the world in a different way, creating that new state of being, which will allow you the energetic frequency to align with your ideal reality. Learning how to speak to your subconscious can also radically start changing those beliefs. This next video right here is going to teach you exactly how to do that. I love y'all. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to support this video, click like. If you want more videos like this, join the community, and I will see you on the next one.